Did you know that for this movie, the first trailer received 365 million online views within the first 24 hours, which was more than any other film, surpassing Spider-Man No Way Home, which had 355 million views. So Deadpool and Wolverine was my most anticipated movie of 2024. I went to go see it with two really great friends of mine, Josh and Spencer, and we just had an amazing time. The theater was packed from beginning to end. We were all in. The energy in that theater was electric. We were laughing most of the time. We were cheering. This is what a lot of us have been waiting for a very long time. And I have three things I really loved about this movie, and my last thing is definitely my favorite. First thing I loved about this movie is the story and the tone. I didn't really know what to expect when it came to how this movie's tone would be, what the story would be. The story seemed pretty straightforward. Deadpool and Wolverine have to team up to save the multiverse. All the other details involving that was fleshed out pretty well. Like the last Deadpool movie was a little more serious in nature. This movie was really funny. It also had a serious tone. Deadpool was kind of going through a midlife crisis. He didn't really feel like he, really mattered a whole lot. I mean, his adventures seemed to be kind of coming near an end. His relationship with Vanessa was not very good. I mean, he had to look for a change. He had to figure out something to stand out again, and he ends up teaming up with Wolverine, and they go on all sorts of crazy adventures. But Wolverine also had a lot of emotional baggage in this movie too. Like, he always seems to be carrying some kind of chip on his shoulder, the weight of the world. He's always been like that, but he and Deadpool were both on the same page when it came to having kind of that crisis. They're trying to find a reason to keep going. Are they even heroes? I mean, they say they are, but are they really heroes? Are they just people who like causing havoc and chaos, and they don't care who they hurt to get what they want? The second thing I loved about this movie is I thought the villain was actually pretty decent. Cassandra Nova. I wasn't familiar with her character. I did know that she was Charles Xavier's sister. She's basically like the bad version of Charles Xavier, so that right away told me, okay, she's got some power. And just seeing her on screen, she looked pretty menacing. She looked very intimidating. She had control of the Void. Inside the Void, there were some pretty nasty scenes with her, just showcasing her power. She was brutal at a couple scenes were extremely brutal, pretty disgusting. I'm not going to go into specifics, but there was one scene that was absolutely nasty. Lots of great characters in this movie. We got to see a lot of the characters from Deadpool, the Deadpool movies. It was really awesome to see them. They didn't get a whole lot of screen time just because I felt like, this movie's the main characters were Wolverine and Deadpool, so we wanted to get as much of them as possible. But of course, it was great seeing all of Wade Wilson's friends on screen. But then the cameos, I'd say like the biggest fear I had for this movie was the storyline and the plot would get lost with all the cameos that appear, because the trailers showed us tons of cameos. Of course, in this movie there were also other cameos that we were not aware of that were kept secret that blew my freaking mind. One cameo in particular, my mouth just dropped wide open when I saw it. I was like jumping on my seat when this character showed up, but the cameos actually were not overwhelming. I was really happy with that. They were placed strategically throughout the movie where, here and there we would get a cameo. It was a great cameo, but it didn't take away from the overall story. The story was still super solid, and then the cameos actually added to the story and gave us even more excitement and adrenaline and let's freaking go moments. And then for my favorite scene, this one's actually a pretty tough one. There were a lot of amazing fight scenes in this movie, but I gotta say the one that took all of it was the opening scene with Deadpool taking out like 35 TVA agents while the song Bye 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 by NSYNC is playing. Not only was that song timed perfectly to like the action, but while the action was happening, Deadpool would be doing the dance moves to Bye Bye Bye. Us millennial fans could not ask for a better way to kick off Deadpool and Wolverine than NSYNC's Bye 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 playing while Deadpool is just savagely murdering 30-some TVA agents with a very interesting weapon. It was hilarious. I mean, I was dying, my friends were dying, everyone was just cracking up, but at the same time, I think there's that little bit of that brilliance there from director Shawn Levy where he just incorporates some really great comedic moments in his movies, and this one might be at the top of his brilliant comedic genius moments. So I highly recommend go see Deadpool and Wolverine as soon as possible, and please no spoilers for anybody who has not seen it yet. So for Deadpool and Wolverine, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10 Mudflaps, which is the highest rating I've given a movie so far this year. And remember to leave me a thumbs up and drop in the comments below, who is your favorite Deadpool variant? See you next time!